I reached $100,000 a month in profit, and about $95,000 per month came from one place. It's not social media where I have like 250,000 followers. It was actually an email list where I have 20,000 email subs. Email is just a more natural way to sell. You're not competing for attention with a bunch of posts and hot girls and nice memes all over the place. It's just you and the email list. And that's why when you've heard people say money is on the list, they're probably right. And I agree with them. The hard thing is, how do you even get email subs to promote to? How do you get people to join inside of the list? And so inside of my mastermind that I charge $20,000 a year to join, this was a recurring question, which I answered with the workshop that I'm going to give you today, which is called 1,000 New Whales. So how do you get 1,000 new whales, which are people who can actually pay and need your help inside of your list? And so the training is free here on YouTube. I'm off building other businesses, but in the meantime, I thought this training that I used to charge a lot of money for, it might benefit you. Enjoy. There's no best platform except for the one you own. You can have a big following on social media, but you don't really control how many people see your stuff. This makes that audience inferior to email, in which you do control who sees your stuff. I personally have more active clients than average likes on a post. Like, think about that. Like my engagement, like it's not good, right? But I get more active clients than average likes. And that happens because I know how to get whales into the list and sell them something. And that's why this meme is real. Me after posting a thread with dog shit engagement and using likes and cash as an excuse for the 1,000th time. Because, well, that's just what happens. Getting whales into your list actually is not hard. I believe that getting high engagement is harder than keeping high cash flow, personally. But getting whales into your list is just kind of repetitive, and that's why people don't do it. You will grow your list if you have these three pieces in place. It's your big ideas, your cadence, and variance. So these are the three pieces we're uncovering today. One, big ideas. Promises attract fish, ideas attract whales. I made a lot of money off just repeating the same three concepts of whale bait, insight-based content, and the offer show. Like I share this a lot, and there's a reason for that. If someone agrees with your big idea, the only place they can get more of it is by joining your list. It's by getting closer to you, which makes you much more desirable. Two is cadence. The easiest way to get people into your list is by making an offer to join it every day, right? Groundbreaking stuff. However, we do this with two kinds of promos. We do it with big promos that give you kind of those big subscriber spikes, and with small promos that give you that consistent subscriber growth. Both matter. And the third one is variance. People stop listening when they know what you're going to say. It's not enough to ask them to join the list. We have to change the way we do so they actually follow through. This is why you will also find me varying a lot of my offers. So usually in the beginning of a workshop, what do I pitch? I pitch cash creators. Today I thought, what if I pitch the August Pass? And maybe next time I will do something different. Like if they know what you're going to say, they stop listening. So when you change the way you make an offer, it makes people look. So our goal today, anyway, that was a little segue, but our goal today is deploying these three. Then craft an 8-week plan to start funneling these whales into your list. So let us begin. Number one is your big ideas. This is the first component out of the three. So one of my favorite quotes, unless your campaign has a big idea, it will pass like a ship in the night. We're all offer salespeople. We're all selling offers. But the paradox is that it's easier to sell your offers and attract whales when you look at yourself like an idea salesperson, not an offer salesperson. In a simpler language, is you sell more of your offer if you sell the offer second and the idea first. Offers come with a choice. Like people get your offer and they can choose to take it or not. Ideas don't. When people hear an idea, they either agree with it or not, like immediately. It's an automatic reaction. You see something, you see an idea, and it's not like, do I buy into this idea? You don't have that thought process like if you were into your offers, right? But with ideas, it's automatic. This automatic reflex matters a lot because if you can get someone to buy into your idea, they have no choice but to lean in. If somebody buys into the offer shell context, I own offershell.com, so they have to lean in. It makes joining your list much more desirable because that's the only place they can get more of it. So if you sell your ideas, you get more people in. Don't try to get people to join your lists. Try to get them to buy into your ideas. And this is kind of the first mindset shift I want you to make to get 1,000 new whales into the list. Because that makes joining your list much easier and you just get more people. 4 years of selling taught me that people buy stuff mostly because of your ideas. Like the offer is just kind of the enabler. Like a cash creator the other day said, I didn't even need to read your offer. I was sold the ideas already. And that's how powerful big ideas are. They get you a yes before you make the offer. You probably already have a few. Like everybody here has come up with something, right? But how can you know for sure? Like, how do you know you have a big idea? I know for sure the offer shell is a big idea. How do you know for sure for yours? The short answer is if somebody other than you uses it in a sentence, then you have a big idea. That's the litmus test. So when I got these questions asked, hey, is this in the offer shell style? Do you have fitness coaches that do the offer shell? That matters. If somebody uses your idea in a sentence, that matters because in the entirety of the English language, they couldn't find a better way to describe it than the one you invented, than the language that's in your head. You probably already have a big idea. So think about your conversations with clients, customers, leads, followers, friends, and think, which of my ideas have they used in a sentence? So I'm going to give you like 30 seconds. Think about one. All right. If you didn't have one, here's some frames. To find big ideas, these are some useful ways that I find to think about them. A spin on common practices. So you look at people in your market or the practices in your market and you think, can it be better? Like, this is a powerful question. Can it be better? So I looked at offer suites and I thought, yeah, that could be better. That could be offer shells. So what do people do in your market that could be better? The new way. What's a new way to do an old thing? So I take something that's like tried and tested and I just call it something else. Like the workshop funnel is just like, dude, it's just making a $100 thing. Like everybody does this, right? But when you call it the workshop funnel, it's the new way to do an old thing. And it's you. Identity. Who do you embody? Like, which person do you find yourself to be? Like me, I do cash creators. Today when I was training, I wanted to bench, but the bench was occupied. And I remember this Sam Sulek quote that says, "The enlightened lifter does not trip when his machine is occupied. He just uses another one." And I thought, fuck yeah, I'm an enlightened lifter, right? So who do you embody? What identity do you embody? Contrarian, what's incorrect? So I look at value and I think this is just not the way you build something. It's actually with insight. So you go against the grain. That's another way to come up with a big idea. And you don't have to pick a new per each. It's just, this is more emotional. So like, look at these and think which idea shines brighter to you? Which one speaks to you? Simplification. So what can you Justin Timberlake? Like if you watch the Social Network, they called Facebook actually the Facebook. And then Justin Timberlake comes up and he goes, don't call it the Facebook, drop the, it's just Facebook. Right? So I did that with actually whale bait. Thank you, Frank Kern. So Frank Kern actually said, you cannot catch whales with minnow bait. And I don't know what minnow is, but I know what fish is. So you can just Justin Timberlake something, right? If there's a saying that you're like, I don't like this. Jack Butcher once posted engagement ain't cash. And thank God he posted it because that became my entire brand. Or engagement. If you can't find any of this is the easiest one. Look at which topics consistently get you high engagement. So you filter by the top post and you think, what are some ideas that I'm like over and over like falling into or like talking about that perform well? Everybody should have one. And later on, I'm going to do something cool where we're going to be writing about your own big ideas. So if you have a big idea, write it in the chat. It's going to be helpful later. Or any idea that feels big. So test one that feels strong and post it a lot. Repeat this until somebody other than you uses it in a sentence. So you post it and you see yourself as an idea salesperson, and then eventually somebody will say it back to you. When that happens, you know you've got a winner. So when you find yours, here's what we're going to do to attract the big whales. We're going to put it in a landing page. And it could be as simple as offershell.com, right? Where you put the big idea and outcome at the top, and then you include this is like a rule of thumb for mine. Numbers, not adjectives. What number can you point out and find that, because like subjective things are often misunderstood. Then you can have image, and then it's just the joining in. Like I've had 3 or 4 people ask me, hey, what's the template for this? Like, where'd you get this? I'm like, it's the default card template. Like, what do you mean? It's actually not that hard, but because it has a big idea, it's strong. So once you have that, you put this in all your links in bio so that you can direct people from channels you don't control into the one you do. And this idea is only yours. It makes people lean in. You can expect an increase in subs just by having this in place. And just having this in place is already more powerful than, hey, join my newsletter, right? Now, the big idea is like, this is kind of the landing page you're going to be reusing. It's going to get you whales passively, but that's not enough to get 1,000 new people in. So we need to get them actively with 2 tools, cadence and variance. So cadence, the easiest way to grow your list every day is to promote it every day. But we do this with 2 kinds of promos, big and small. This is the part I got excited writing. So a big promo requires more work than a small promo, but it gets you lots of subs. Think like lead magnets or hosting an event. A small promo requires little work and can be automated, like a plug, or you put something on your story. It's small, right? But it's consistent and you can do it often. A big promo you can't because it requires more work. Both matter. To promote our list, we need to make an offer every day, but we can make big promos every day, so the small promos kind of serve as a placeholder in between. Armed with our big idea, now we're going to use big promos and small promos to drive traffic to it from the audience we already have. I recommend 1 big promo a week. If you want to go aggressive, you can do it 3 times a week. That's what I do when I used to do ghostwriting, by the way. If I had to grow an account from scratch, I used to do 3 big promos per week and buy retweets and just like focus on that. And it grew accounts really fast. So if you're in that situation, then maybe that might help. Big promos and small promos at work. So let us begin. This is the big one. This is my favorite one, the insight-based lead magnet. So we're going to start with these 5. When I created valuable lead magnets, I got lots of subs, but they just kind of took forever to buy, right? And only a few did. The insight-based lead magnet came out of the value versus insight idea. Showing people that you have the answer leads to much better leads than giving them the answer. This resulted in many more subscribers and a much higher quality lead. It worked. And the logic goes in 3 steps. You get email subs with an insight-based lead magnet, which I'll show you how to do. Then you use that insight to create a one-time customer. So as soon as somebody joins your list, you take them to a customer offer, not a client offer. Something that's 50, 100, 250, 300 bucks. Something that's not your client thing. We do this because it's too early, in my opinion, to sell a client offer. You'll get more clients if you focus on creating customers first and then clients, than if you focus on creating clients right away. So you get more clients if you focus on getting clients second. Second time we covered this today, actually. And when you do that, you end up with the best of 2 worlds. So you get leads that you get with insight, which are good leads, and customers you can start conversations with, which are the best leads. So this is kind of the logic of the lead magnet. Get email subs, use that insight to create a one-time customer, and then you end up with the best of both worlds, insight-based leads and insight-based customers. So how do you do this like tactically? Step 1, you put one of your big ideas on a landing page. We covered this template first, and we can workshop some of your big ideas in the community later, but you put it on a landing page. Boom. 2, you create a short insight-based video. This video has got me a lot of clients, and it's awesome. So it's me explaining just the insight. People usually do offer shells. I don't. I do offer suites. I don't. I do offer shells. The video is short and only has 3 parts. So Kevin asked this in the morning. It has insight, proof, and a customer offer. The best way to illustrate this for you is with an example. So you need these 3 in this video. It can be just like 3 minutes long. If you join this workshop, you've already seen this because it's the video that got you to buy. So contrast. What's a value-based lead magnet? For example, if I said, I've ran 19 workshops, and I've ranked the ones with the best results. Get the copy for each workshop below. Huge giveaway. Rah, rah, right? would have given my templates for free, and it would have attracted a lot of triers and not buyers. So then, I kind of shot myself in the foot because I gave that, I attracted triers, not buyers. Whereas an insight-based lead magnet would go as follows with these three pieces. So pay attention. Let's say I press record. Leads make the worst clients because of how much we ask from them. Jumping from zero to a $5,000 offer is a big jump, one that they're not ready to make. The solution is not to make your offer better, but to make it smaller. Not cheaper, smaller. Just like giving a test drive increases car sales because you get a feel for the machine, making people spend a small amount and then making your client offer increases how many clients you get because they get a feel for your program. Sometimes the easiest way to get someone to give you a big amount is to get them someone to give you a small amount first. So this is the insight. It's when you go like, like I didn't know that. Like you're not trying to get them to go, I want to try this. You're trying to make them go, I haven't thought about that, right? Value is telling people what to do. Insight is showing people where to look. So if you can change the direction they're looking, that's insight-based content. Going on. This is why I don't pitch to leads and run the workshop funnel instead. The workshop funnel is why 80% of my clients come from 0.2% of my audience. This 0.2 beats the other 99.8 because they spent something, and that makes them much more valuable than a random lead. It's not that your offer needs work, you just need a smaller offer in between. So this is the proof, right? The second component we needed. We got insight, we got proof. And what that does is that creates a gap because between where they are and where the insight can lead them to. You don't have a middle offer, right? Then you position your customer offer simply as a way to fill that gap. It's my most effective funnel and one that you can set up in one day. Below, I'll give you the templates and copy all of my 19 workshops so you can get your next 3 clients with it. Boom. 3 steps. So they got the insight. So they got what was promised, right? They got the big idea of the workshop funnel. Then I included proof so they could know that, I'm not selling smoke. And then just this customer offer to fill the gap we created with insight. It's very simple. It's a short video. And it works because of the simplicity of it. Big idea into insight-based video into customer offer. So then below, you share the customer offer that they can get, that makes sense after they've got the insight. If it sounds too simple, keep it that way because that's what makes it work. It's the simplicity of things. This is why I sell with Google Docs and I just make everything very easy to understand because I ain't trying to complicate it more than it is. It really can be this simple. That's it. And the last step to get whales with this is promote it with an auto DM or 2-step. This is just auto DM is like and comment and send it to you. 2-step is the same thing, but people on Facebook call it 2-step. But it's essentially this, right? So you post it like this. So this is me, an example. Apologies for the delay. Recorded a 10-minute video on how to position yourself so that prospects stop comparing you. Like and comment and I'll send it. Right? This is just the easiest way I've found to get people to buy into the thing. And when they like and comment, well, then you send them this page. Hey, here. And then if you want to get cheeky with it, you can also ask, PS, what are you working on? Maybe I have other stuff that might be helpful. So that's it. That's the whole insight-based lead magnet. It has 4 components. First one is the big idea. Then it's your insight-based video. Then it's your customer offer. And then you just do it with an auto DM or 2-step. I'll show you how to recycle it and keep using it, but this is just one out of the 5 big promos. Okay. Now we go on to the next one. And this next one, by the way, you can automate this with ManyChat on Instagram and Facebook, Tably for LinkedIn, and Tweet Hunter for X. So send it to the community for feedback before it comes out if you like. Now, friends, I have to admit something. Part of life is growing. And this was a growth moment for me. I have to admit that value-based lead magnets can work for some people, and I've seen them create amazing results. They will get you lower quality leads, but they will get you more leads. So if you're going for sheer numbers, then it works. So if we define sheer numbers, if you have less than 1,000 subs on your list, then value-based lead magnets might be the thing for you. If you have more than 1,000, then you don't have a leads problem, you have a lead conversion problem. This will not solve that. But if you have less than 1,000, then this might work. The key to a value-based lead magnet is to make the lead magnet a smaller component of a bigger thing. You want to get subs, of course, but remember that the goal is creating a customer because customers make up the best leads. So let's create like a little nuance of difference so you understand. Our wrong, in my opinion, value-based lead magnet would be these 11 well-made posts got me 1 client each. Get this swipe file so you can get all these clients too. The right way to do this would be give them 1, then sell the workshop for the other 10. Right, where they can get it. Like when they consume your lead magnet, they're gonna do something. They're gonna take an action. Do you want them to go with take an action and like do it for themselves? Probably not, because it's hard and it's scary for them. You want to direct them by the way, there's more of this where you can get it, right? And then you point them towards that. You make it a smaller component of the bigger thing. Another wrong value-based lead magnet. Steal my 3 offer templates that closed 80 clients, upsold 25, and created 600 customers. You don't give them the 3 templates, you give them 1. And you offer the others you have as a bundle, which they can purchase below. So you show them one thing, and then you point them to the bigger thing. Another one. I've run 19 workshops, and I've run the ones with the best results. Get them below along with the copy, huge giveaway. Give them 1, then allow them to purchase the rest at a swipe file. Again, if you have more than 1,000 subs, then you don't need this. But if you have less, then it might be a way to get people in fast, right? Value-based lead magnets. They will get you a lower quality lead, but they will get you more leads. It's worth trying? Sure, it is. So how do you do this? Step 1, you decide which smaller component of a bigger component you will give. Creating lead magnets can be a lot of work. But what if you didn't have to create all that work? That's a big recurring theme here. We think we need to create a lot of stuff, but we don't. We just need to be better at recycling the stuff we already have. You can just craft a lead magnet from the stuff you already have. Often the things that are just taking up space in our drive can change our business. So here's some examples. Templates. And think about your own, like be selfish here. Templates. Do you have any templates or kind of recipes that allow you to perform your work? Something that you use often. For me, I have my Google Doc offers. Swipe files. What activities do you do every day that leave a record? Your emails, right? All my emails is one activity. If you track your workouts, that is it. If you track your calories, that is it. Scripts. Do you follow a method the same way repeatedly? So I kind of have this idea of a script that I use to turn inquiries into clients. That is something that I do repeatedly. What do you do? Collections. What library of stuff are you building, either consciously or unconsciously? So I know that Christian somewhere is building up the SOPs that he uses, and he's writing them somewhere. But I know that collection is being built. All your sales conversations, your email conversations, the way your offer has shifted, the way your voice has shifted. Stuff in your portal. What videos, docs, or PDFs are there that prove valuable in their time? Everybody has this. Like what thing have you sold that people said, this is good, and you stopped selling? Previous offers. What offers did well before? Same thing. Assets. Do you have any tools that come in handy for you to do the thing? Like, do you have any tools, any kind of like digital hammers, if you will, that you just keep using over and over? I do. It's my season sequence. And value-based posts. This is something that you can turn into a paid offer with no drawback. Like Tom posted exercises of the top 15 knee exercises to get rid of knee pain, and it was free. And then he put $100 tag on it, and it became his best-selling workshop. Like if you give value away in the past, you just can't turn that into a paid thing with no repercussion. So that's the smaller component that you'll give, right? What is one smaller component of the things you have? And then you frame it as a magic pill. Now, magic pills are the difference between the thing and the thing with sparkles. It means putting a wrapper on the thing to make it look easy. So now I showed you the assets. Here's how you turn that into a magic pill. Here's some examples. So template, my Google Doc offer. The 1 million Google Doc template you can swipe. All my old emails, the 90 days of offer swipe file, sales conversation, the cash script that converts in 5 messages, the asset that I have, which is the, the ugly email plug swipe that I got it right here. I just have it. And then I could just sell it as 1,000 new whales, which I effectively did. Framework. I follow a framework for email. Well, that became value versus insight. It's a magic pill. It's the thing and the sparkly thing. You just make it look cool. You make it look easy. And if you get one thing right when you sell these things, it's got to be the magic pill. Waitlist, when I sold that workshop, you probably not remember it, and with good cause, because it was not a magic pill and it only sold 9 copies. 90 days of offer swipe file was a magic pill, and it sold 117. If you get one thing right, make it a magic pill. You can bring your ideas to the calls or the community so we can magic pill them. The other day with Houston, we were workshopping on his own. And when we found a magic pill, 2 cash creators bought his magic pill on the call. I'm like, guys, we're here to learn. We're not here to buy. But hey, like, that's the power of it. It works even when people know how it works. So the rest of the steps are the same. You find the small component, you make it a big component, and then you just put the magic pill on a landing page, walk them through a lead magnet, like the one smaller component, and then point to where they can get the rest of the bigger component. And then you just sell the customer offer. Like, it's not something new. Like, I'm not teaching anything that's revolutionary. It's just the small execution of the details and knowing fundamentals of framing it as a magic pill and making it look easy that matters. So if you wanted the template for this, here's the resource, ClickFunnels template. I want to send you this doc at the end. And side note, if you buy retweets, shares, or run ads, I recommend using it on either one of your lead magnets. I'm going to show you other big events, but lead magnets tend to do really well with retweets or ads. Your money is better spent here than on regular posts. So if you will spend on this. Okay, big problem number 3, events. So people attend concerts even though headphones have better audio and you don't have to stand in line for an hour. It also has the added benefit that you don't need to go to a public toilet. Because a concert is an event. And events are fun. So create an event that people can only join by being inside your list. It's fun. And it also gives them a reason to join now. So this is an event. You're invited to our call on Thursday, how to get leads without posting for years. My funnel, small account advice, offer creation. Would you like an invite? Comment and I'll send it to you. So what live event could you show? Think about this as an insight-based webinar. So you host that and you're like, hey, like, this opportunity is going away. It's going to be live. Do you want it? How much stronger is that than join my newsletter to get more tips? Anyway, events are fun. So host an event, host a live event that people can join. It also has implied consequences because if people don't join, they don't get it. And as we've covered before, people don't move unless they have a reason to. Its brother, it's JV events. You can leverage other people's audiences that hosting a free event for them. This is especially good to explore yourself to other people's audiences. So this is an example of what I did with Justin Welsh. So I thought, man, Justin's got a damn good audience. So why don't I host one? I'm hosting a free workshop with Justin on September. The theme is monetizing. We'll talk about attracting spenders, monetizing, growing your income, link to register. There's got to be 200 subs from like 1 or 2 retweets from Justin. Like, it is that powerful. It is like the big promo, right? I can't do this every day, but that's why it's a big promo, because we're going to put smaller promos in between. But think who has the audience that you would like to have. Who could you partner up with? And what you do is you handle everything. So this is what I send them. This is an actual screenshot. Hey, man, I'll handle all the logistics. You just show up and share. We both get the email subs and the recording to add to YouTube or Twitter, because you can post it on Twitter. It's like, sounds good. Q&A or presentation. And I'm like, presentation, but I will lead. So you don't prepare anything. What you do is you take care of all the tech, invite your audience, you make them look handsome, do the work, and you get the subs. And they just show up and yap. They just engage with the promotional posts, they show up and they get the subs. It's a true win-win, right? So if you find somebody who would be open to this, it's not a bad idea to partner up with them. That's a JV, a joint venture. Another one, quiz. Tanner told me this. Make a quiz and send them the result to their email. So Tanner has a big idea, the style archetype. It could be either rugged, refined, or rakish, right? And he's like, well, do you know which one is the best for you? Take this quick quiz. So you fill it up, and then he sends you the result to your email. This is fun because people are, people like having stuff tailored to them. This got Tanner like 140 subscribers. And it like didn't get that many likes, but likes and cash. But this is something you can do. You can make a small quiz. You could also do interview or case study. So show how you help the client get a result. The nuance here is that you gotta make them look like the hero. The story is about them. It's not about you. It's gotta make them look good. So this is an example. 31K with 2,500 followers. I didn't say, hey, this is my client, right? He used my system. I said he got that. Get the 19-word offer he used. See, another magic bill. The 19-word offer. It's like makes people lean in, right? Like and comment, and I'll DM it to you. So yeah, make them look like the hero. If you like a template, you can find it in school over here. So these are the big promos, right? As a recap, you put the big promos, and I recommend you do one of these per week, but you can't make them every day. This will give you the big spikes. But what do you do in between? In between, you put in the small promos. I think there's like 9. So we're going to cover the 9. The first one is plugins. A post does well, and you plug something below. So the key to making a plugin is that it has to be congruent with the original post. Here's one. 2 likes and 15 email subs, If I were to start over, I'd have one of each. 1 Google Doc offer, 1 whale bet strategy, and 1 offer shell. And then it's convenient below because it's like, oh, what is the offer shell? And I'm like, okay, more on this. The power of a big idea, right? It would have got less, in my opinion, if I said, I'm going to show you more about the offer shell inside my newsletter. But because this is about the idea, it works. What's the wrong way to do it? The coaching industry told me that more sales calls, bigger teams, and more content were somehow going to lead to a less stressful life. Okay, it did well. And then I thought, the tech stack I used to get to 10K a month is identical to the one I used to make 100K a month. Join the list below. So it's like, it doesn't correlate. It doesn't have that, it's not congruent with what was above. So when you do a plugin, make sure you're congruent with what's above. A note on this is some platforms behave differently. So on LinkedIn and Instagram, like on Twitter, you just like plug it in below as if it were a thread. On LinkedIn and Instagram, it can be better if you edit your post after it does well instead of plugging it below. So just like be aware of how the algorithm of your desired platform works the best, and then play the rules by their game, because that means they will show people your stuff. So that's one of the 9 small promos. Second one is proof. We covered this in the beginning. Trust is at an all-time low. So what undeniable proof can you show that your stuff works? Again, a rule of thumb, and this is why I'm so autistic about this, numbers, not adjectives. Because if you say, we're going to 10x your lead flow, what does that mean? We're going to supercharge your sales. What does that mean? You're going to feel so much better and have increasing energy. What does that mean? They don't know. Whereas when you include a number, it's subjective. They know exactly what they're getting. That reduces their anxiety and increases their likelihood that they buy your stuff. So numbers, not adjectives. New clients, 121. Sales calls, 0. And I included how much MRR, which month, how many clients. Sign up here. Like it's very numerical. Here's another one. Get everything he got. It's free. So guys, like 17K a month. It has a screenshot. He used to make before less, so it's easy, right? This is one of the ones that performed the best in terms of email subs. I had this pinned for a few months, and it did really well. Proof never fails, unless you make it about adjectives, not numbers. So numbers, not adjectives. If you don't have numbers, I partner up with John. John is, you hear me talk about sometimes about like the one partner I have in Cash Creators. Like this is the top level of the offer shell. That's John. He does gut health. So if you don't have numbers, show proof of what stopped or started happening. So this is a picture of this guy's Carl's skin. Undeniable. right? If you're a fitness coach, nothing beats six pack, right? Although, to be fair, I always thought that the best fitness coach testimonial would actually be not from the client, but from the client's kid. A little kid that says, oh my God, my dad has so much energy. Now he's taking me to the games and now we're playing soccer and I love it. My dad's my hero. Like, imagine that as a testimonial. I always thought that would bang. I digress. Next, email offer. So say you're running a campaign to your list. Emails will come out anyway, so you might as well tell people about it. So I'm like, hey, Cash Creator closes doors today. You can get started. Join my list. This has the added benefit of creating pressure for people on your list to act because they see it and they're like, oh, okay, well, right. Like he sent me an email, right? Another reason why now. If we don't give people a reason to move, they rarely do. Tell your audience that you'll give your list something soon so they join soon. Example, this last quarter, we doubled our profit by taking less clients. Didn't even raise prices. I'll show you how we did it in tomorrow's email. Sign up through my link in bio to get it. Right? Give them a reason why now. And these I find to be really good when it falls into one of 5 categories. Before I get into the categories, by the way, it's helpful if you have your email scheduled one day in advance. You schedule an email for tomorrow to get sales, and you talk about it today to get subs. If you don't have them scheduled, you can recycle an email and only send it to new subs. That's something really neat on ConvertKit. You can say, send this email only to people who join after this date. So you can send a special email only to new subs, right? And that way you can recycle them and you don't even need to write the thing. You don't even need to be ahead of schedule. You can just copy and paste. You know, they don't teach you this at Wharton. So 5 topics that work for us, reason why now promos. First one is philosophy. How can your philosophy or big ideas help? This attracts whales. So tomorrow in the newsletter, offer shells. How to introduce your offer shell to improve all your levels of your offer. Emails only come out once. Join. This one got a ton of people, right? And very high quality. So your ideas and your philosophy. What do you believe in? How can you help? How are your big ideas relevant? And then you tell them, tomorrow I'll show you. Insight. What insight has worked for you that you can share? So for me is, I understood that I don't need to spend time with leads. I can only spend time with customers. I'll show you how I did it. Join the newsletter. Right? So what insight has served you? Fitness coach, Josiah, if you're here, something like, well, I figured a way to like always stay within your calorie limit without tripping, even if you go out drinking or you have date nights. Here's how I did it. I'm sharing it tomorrow into the list. Much stronger than join my newsletter, right? Problem. What problem have you solved for yourself or others that you can show them how to solve? So me, I thought my audience was dead. Wasn't the case. I'll show you how you can revive yours. Join. I wrote this on my iPad. Like, it's very simple. Like, we're just doing the fundamentals well. Think about it like Italian cuisine. It's not that we're creating like very elaborate ingredients. We're just getting the fundamentals perfect. Your outcome. What outcome did you achieve that's relevant to them? So for me, this is me and Christian. Christian made me 10K. He upsold 2 clients and bought me 7 days of free time while I traveled. I'll show you how. And guess how I showed them how? By selling them a workshop on how Christian did. Right? It's the insight that matters. And the last reason why now that I found helpful is, what outcome did your client achieve that's relevant to them? So Audrey, from 900 to 200K, I'm sharing 10 lessons from her journey to my list. It's free to join and free to leave anytime. Right? And I'm just sharing that. One day event. That's all you need to start getting stuff. And then you just talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. That's it. That's another principle you can see in play. If you talk about what's happening in the next stage, you get people at the current stage more likely to move. Like on these workshops, you see me mentioning, guys, in the community, right? Share this in our calls. And there's people who don't have access to that. Like, I'm talking about what's in the next step. And it has got people to be like, oh, what is this community you're talking about? Right? Talk about what's happening in the next step. You have your newsletter. What is the previous step? Your audience. Well, then talk about what's happening inside the newsletter so the audience will lean in. Side note on outcomes. Outcomes don't need to be big. Small outcomes work really well. So this is an example of Marcel closing 1 client. So, hey, I'm sending an email. I'm going to show you how Marcel closed one client and how to only talk to qualified leads. Boom. And this worked. Like, it might have not worked as well as the Audrey one, but hey, it worked, right? Outcomes that need to be big. We need some, I'm a believer that we need to lower our standards of what we consider marketing worthy, because the things that are obvious to us are fascinating to others. And it is that bug of, I don't know if this is big enough, that kills you. My best email, this is a $25 watch. My best email is about this, right? It's about the small outcomes that get people. If you can make alchemy out of really small things. That's what I'm trying to say. And the last small promise celebrations, right? So you can use anything as an excuse to sell. Marcel said, it's my dog's birthday, and that's why I am launching Marcel's dog's birthday offer. When I was in Guatemala, I thought, hey guys, I'm like super jet lagged, don't really have anything to send you today, but I'm launching an offer. Call it the Jet Lag Guatemala offer. Get it below. And it worked, right? You can use a celebration as a reason why you're giving something. It's fun, it's interesting, and it's like people don't expect it, right? So it's like, how can you predict that I was going to go to Guatemala and be jet lagged? That you don't, right? So what small thing can you do? When I moved to Poland, I said, hey guys, by the way, now I'm moving our calls a little bit earlier because I'm in Poland. If you're in Europe, Cash Creators is open. Reply Europe and I'll get you the details. And it worked, right? You can use celebrations, anything that happens in your life. Here's one. When I hit 200K followers, I'm kind of ashamed of this because it was a value-based lead magnet, but you get the point. You have a celebration, even though it's small, you still put it out there. What are you celebrating? Nothing. But you can still use it to sell. That's called alchemy. Okay, quick recap. You now have a big idea that you can put on every social media link in bio. This gets you whales passively. And you have 6 big promos and 9 small promos to drive traffic into it actively. The last component that you have, the landing page, and you have a way to drive traffic to it, is varying the offers so people don't get used to them. It's, as Arnold would say, shocking the muscle. Am I lagging or something? That watch has paid for itself a few times over, for real. So variance. People stop listening when they know what you're going to say. To keep getting value out of your big and small promos, just have to change the way you make them. So 3 ways of varying big promos. You can recycle your big promos every 12 weeks. This allows them to breathe, and you can make them again when people have forgotten about it. And they will. I've run a Wellbit workshop 4 times. People just forget things. Change something about the hook to make it look new. That's the second way of varying a big promo. We call this red velvet because red velvet is actually just chocolate cake with red coloring. It's the same thing. You've been lied to, but it can be sold as a different thing. One small change can freshen a promo. 2 ways to do red velvet is you can change the title to an adjacent outcome. The outcome is not always the entire outcome. So for example, if I say how I got 10 clients, I could change the adjacent outcome of time. How I got 10 clients with 2 hours of work. This looks new. Red velvet. A result. How one funnel change led to double the amount of clients. Red velvet. Or you can change the context. This is me last year versus me this year. Here's what I did. Like if anything, you can go to Stripe, like if you're sharing screenshots, right? And you can just change the time frames. And that's a new thing. It's a new red velvet, right? So you can change that. It's like, hopefully you're kind of getting the gist of this is think small. If you think about how can I vary this in a small way, it can lead to massive differences in how people perceive it. Or you can change the magic pill. I used to have this kind of like doc where I say how to reduce your no-shows. And I sold it as reduce your no-shows. Nobody cared. When I changed it to this is the Calendly kit, with sparkles. You can copy and paste it into your Calendly and it reduces your no-shows in 5 minutes. And it did 400% better. So you could just change the magic pill and things just work. And if you have lead magnets now and you're like, this didn't perform well, it's not that the lead magnet is dead. It's just that you didn't dress it nice enough. You didn't change the magic pill. And third way of very big promo is just create another one. Like with the tools above, with the landing page and the video, you just need a video, some copy, and an existing asset to make it work. Like that's all you need. Done in one work session. So 3 ways of very big promos, right? So people don't get used to it. And there's 100 ways of very big promos. So you can use the emails plug swipe. I'm including it in this doc. Actually, now might be a good time to send the doc. So these are 100 email plugs that I use, that I've used, and they just have worked for me really well. The way we do this, like with Christian, because Christian is the one that does it, I don't, is we do it like this. So these 100 promos are actually here, right? I just put it in this Google Doc, and that's why they're green. So what we'll do with Christian is here, if there's any promotion that I'm making that day, I'll write it. If there's no promotion that I'm making that day, Christian will grab one of the bank at random, and then he'll copy and paste it. That meets the variance and the cadence criteria because he does it every day, and he grabs one at random so people don't get used to it. So you can use this to craft your own bank. And then when you craft your own bank, you tell your VA exactly what I told you right now. And that's it. You know, that's how you vary it. If you like more on our systems, the 100K a month SOPs goes really deep into it and how I'm able to work just 3 hours a day. And okay, recap and application. So now you have 3 components in place. You have big ideas, cadence with big promos and small promos, and variance, changing the way you make them. This gets you to 1,000 new whales. It's not hard. Like it is not. You saw this together. Like I've been demonstrating this live. It's just kind of repetitive. But when you get the 3 components right, it just works out. But these don't serve you if we don't have a plan and we stick to that plan. So shall you want it? Here's a challenge to you. These are your next 8 weeks. I crafted this. I'm going to send it. And together, we can craft your next weeks. The green here symbolizes the promos you're going to make. These are the big promos, right? You can do more, you can do less, so you can make a copy out of this. And you can just use that. If you would prefer something more custom, then I did a custom plan that you can just take here. So if you're like, I'm going to grow my list because I have deduced, is that a word? I have arrived to the conclusion that this is going to help my business and this is my focus now. And then I'm going to stick to this. Well, all power to you, man. Go for it. Stick to your 8 weeks here. This is the plan. Shall you want to do it? So what's next? We have arrived to the end. So we're going to get into Q&A in a bit. But what's next is, number 1, execute on your next 8 weeks. This doesn't serve you if you don't actually do it. Send your big ideas and promos for feedback in school. Like there's some stuff that's just like obvious to you, but it's like so fascinating to others, right? And this is kind of what we're getting into. The other day we talked with Carter. He has this unique method that other people haven't found out. He lost 100 pounds with it. And that's how the 100 pounds protocol was born. You know, things are obvious to you, but sometimes you're too close to your work to see it. And this is why the community helps you see it from afar. And see you on Wednesday. So you can see how we run paid ads and get subscribers with it. I have had 2 calls with Travis so far. He was kind enough to give me a few private ones, and it's awesome. Like the system behind 13 million subs with paid ads, and he gets clients from it, and he has no audience. Like it's really nice.